we are recording, like literally right now.
Should we start?
I mean, it's up to you.
Let's start.
Okay then.
Hey everyone.
Oh, we have fruit, by the way, and sweets, and you can.
Yeah, there's this thing called Zulbia and Bamiya.
It's basically
Which-
very sugary stuff, fried, and then recoated with a lot of syrup.
Yeah, and it might kill you in the
That's so
future.
delicious.
Yeah, that is true. Hello everyone. Welcome to Wait, I've Seen It Before, episode 11. After like a month, I think.
More.
I think it's a month though. Like, hopefully it's a month. Based on since I've been checking the YouTube channel regularly, like for views and stuff, and it still says your viewership for the past month is like 48. And since the last episode we did was the Marvel Universe thing,
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we're still a month.
Damn, we should have started with our second episode because we could have gone from Marvel to DC.
It doesn't matter. What have we been doing, and why have we delayed it so much?
Well, basically, you lost your virginity, your directorial
Oh, okay.
virginity.
There you go. Yeah, I made a movie.
Yeah.
Fucking sucks.
Come on.
I absolutely hate it.
I'm eating fruit, by the way. I'm eating a strawberry. I had no, desire to eat a strawberry until we started recording. It seems like a rite of passage at this point. I should be eating something.
I like strawberries.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
nice. They're one of my favorite fruits. Basically, many summer fruits are some of my favorite
Yeah.
fruits. But yeah, I made a movie, and I
It's actually
don't
good.
think it's. Thank you. You're not the first person. Like, I'm not gonna discuss it right now. We're gonna talk about it after the podcast.
The important
later.
thing about his movie is that I'm in it. I'm like the main central point of a scene. I used to be until you've diminished my presence with another one.
Yeah, you're a terrible actor. But
Wow.
with
Wow.
that said, yeah, we are quite sorry because like we were going to record a podcast like 3 weeks ago, but
Oh, more
I
than
think-
that. More than that, dude.
I think you were sick or I was. I can't remember.
Okay,
the
the
specifics.
things were like this. We were supposed to record one, which we still are not planning to do in this session for Nosferatu. The
Yeah.
original and the remake. We probably won't at this point, but
No, we will. Like,
we will?
yeah.
I mean,
when
there is
we
another-
go back
another
to our
one.
regular
Yeah.
schedule. We will.
okay, so we were supposed to do that. You got sick.
Yeah, I
Then
think
next
I got
week I was kind of busy. And then after that was the holidays. Then you had to make a movie. And then you edited the movie. And then you sound edited the movie.
That part isn't over yet,
Oh.
but yeah.
And now we are doing it now.
Yeah, better late than never. That's
Yeah.
my motto.
So our subject today is actually what we were supposed to do like in March. Like we were supposed to do Nosferatu and then this. But this has been pushed forward and it's Nightmare Alley. The both versions of it. Which, oddly enough, is not a remake. It's not a remake. I mean, they're both based on the same book. Remake is based if it's based on the movie, but it's really not. Like, if it was based on the movie, there could have been a lot of visual stuff to sort of take from the movie,
Yeah.
and they didn't.
Well, what Del Toro said, and I read in the interviews before his version was published, he was like, "This is a different interpretation of that story in particular, and like it's completely different according to him. I think there are still a lot of similarities and themes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they're both based on the same book, of course. The
Obviously.
Nightmare Alley by author William Lindsay Gresham. And which died by, I'm reading it off the Wikipedia,
Yeah.
died by suicide by sleeping pills on September 14th, 1962, in the same hotel room in the Hotel Carter where he wrote the first draft of Nightmare Alley.
Now that's
Spooky.
ironic.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, they're both based on the same book, but because Del Toro is a postmodernist, I stand by that, and so he loves making references. Like in The Shape of Water, you have like a shit ton of references to Fred Astaire. Like the dance scene is, in particular, is Broadway Melody 1940, I think, is the scene where they parodying.
Yeah, yeah.
Parodying.
I'm not exactly that informative on those subjects.
I know. I am.
Yeah, you're.
But like he would have done that if it was a remake of the movie, because the movie actually, let's start with we were gonna start with the 1947 movie, has a number of, like, in my head, iconic scenes that could have been iconic. Like when who was the old one? Pete Crumby, the guy who gives him the code.
I think.
I mean, let's go to the new movie because
Because
I
we
know
know
who
who the
plays.
actor is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Peter Crumlin.
Crumben. Like there is this scene. First of all, I will get to the story, but I just want to mention this before we get to that. Like there is this scene, and I love it, where he's sitting and he's talking to Tyrone Power, the Stan Carlisle, and he's talking about what we used to do, and does a little scene of how they would sort of do their act. And it's such a great scene, great acting. And I mean, if Del Toro was remaking the movie, he would have definitely used that scene, I think.
Yeah.
Or
maybe.
the singing scene where they
yeah,
sing.
I guess you do have a point, but I still think it might be the case of having two different artistic visions for the same story, which is kind of the point of this podcast.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. Like, we're going to talk about it, obviously. I think we need to, first of all, do a pretty fast synopsis of what happens.
Oh, yeah,
so that
yeah.
when we get to the nitty gritty,
Well, I'm going to use the 1947 version for the synopsis because the 2021 version, the Del Toro version, adds to it, but...
not that much.
I mean, quite a lot. The father thing is not in the 1947 movie at all.
Not that much, I mean like less than 20-25%.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, let's start with 1947. There's this guy called Stan. He works at a carnival. And he fucks this lady called Zena.
Yeah.
And Zena has a husband called Pete, which we talked about. He's a drunk, and they used to have this act of mentalism, which is, you've seen it, like these guys who come on the television shows and they're like, does your relative's dead name start with an R, with an E, with an A? But better than that, They have a mentalism act, and they don't do it because Pete says it's too dangerous and...
It's a manipulative.
Yeah.
Which is one of the main themes of this story.
Oh, yeah. So, Stan kind of convinces Xena and Pete to teach him about this stuff. Pete doesn't want to, but Pete dies under
accidental alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, accidental.
He drinks wood alcohol, if I
Yeah, wood alcohol.
Methanol.
I mean, to be honest, in 1947 version, it is definitely an accident.
Yeah.
Like they tell you it's an accident. In the 2021 version, it's not really obvious if it's an accident or not.
Yeah, there's more of
ambiguity.
Yeah.
So Pete dies, and Stan
decides to seal the act. He goes.
Yeah, and in the meantime, there's this other girl.
The sweetheart of the circus.
Molly.
Yeah, he takes Molly to a local town. It is implied that it's New York, but like.
I mean, it's in New York or Chicago, like one of those.
It's a mega city.
Yeah, it's a metropolis.
Metropolis. That's what I was trying
to say. I know. I'm very pretentious.
Oh, nice.
So they go there and they do a mentalism act, and become quite famous. So famous, in fact, that a certain rich dude with questionable eccentricism decides to pay them to sort of see if the power is actually real. Like, do they actually talk to the dead, or if it's just, manipulation? And with the help of that rich guy's psychiatrist, Stan decides to do like one big job. Like, oh, I'm gonna take so much money from this dude, and I'm gonna make him believe that I can show him his dead wife. Wife?
Uh, Former lover.
Former lover. Yeah, that's a better word.
And not even lover, like former uh, victim?
It depends on which version you look. Like 2021 sort of implies that she was a victim, but in 1947, I mean, spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah, if you haven't
Yeah.
noticed yet.
But in the old one, it's really not that.
Yeah, no. Even in the old ones, there's like, there's like this dude was kind of shitty towards that girl back
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the day.
In
I
the
don't
old
know.
one, it doesn't actually come up.
Yeah,
It's not that important in
maybe
the old
not.
one. So,
Yeah,
he goes there. He does that for the rich guy, which is Ezra Grindle. What a name, Ezra Grindle, and he saw.
Ezras are hot right now.
Oh yeah, Miller.
One
I mean-
particular one was,
Hot.
by hot I mean very controversial because of all the beatings. How very similar.
How very similar. Don't name your kid Ezra if you want him not to go up to
I think it's a
be.
Jewish name. I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it Jewish or like old Christian? Because if it's Jewish,
Don't quote me on it, by the way.
yeah, I mean, if it's Jewish,
I think Ezra Miller is Jewish.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know.
Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
I was gonna say that. I mean, the novel was written in 1920s, so, and the movie was made after World War II, so it's kind of. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. But because I don't know this stuff, I need to like write a script about it, do my research. I haven't done any of that. I've just watched the movies.
Yeah. This is the
I didn't
concept
even I didn't even read the book. I just watched
Me
the movie.
neither. And I'm kind of on a roll with books. Like I read Blood and Snow by Jon Esbo. It's quite a good book.
Nice.
I'll tell you about the story later. But
Huh?
anyway, yeah, we haven't read the novel.
Yeah. So he sort of he fails at convincing Ezra Grindle that he's actually communicating with the dead.
With the dead, yeah.
Not with the deaf, with the dead, and needs to run away because Ezra Grindle is a very powerful person and says, "I will fuck you up."
Yeah.
In the new version, some other stuff happened. In the old version, it doesn't. Ezra Grindle actually, I did say Miller again. Ezra Grindle is actually alive in the old one.
Version, yeah.
And so he goes to the psychiatrist and says, give me all the money that we sort of got from Ezra, and realizes that the psychiatrist has been playing him all along.
Oh, what a twist!
What a twist. And he runs away. There is this stuff about Geek, but we'll get to that. I think 2021 did it much better, so we'll get there when we get there. And so, yeah, that's... he goes to a carnival, says, I have a mentalism act. The carnival owner says, I don't need a mentalism act. Can you be a geek? And he sort of laughs and says, yeah. Sir, I was made for it.
Born to do. Oh, I was made to do this, or I was born to do it?
So I was made for it in the old one. In the new one,
I think it's the same thing.
He was born for it. Yeah.
Which is a very nuanced difference, which we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
discuss. But overall, I really do like this story. Like
It's great.
I do want to read the novel if I find it. I haven't found it yet. But it's really fascinating. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a circus person. Like, I absolutely do not enjoy those acts and stuff like that. But it's still really fascinating.
I mean, carnivals in general are a great sort of. There's this amazing movie I think you've seen called Freaks. You haven't? By Todd Browning, the guy who did Dracula, the Universal Dracula.
No,
Highly recommend it because the thing about circus performers and carnivals and like there's no other way of saying it, freak show acts, is that they're a great mixture of showmanship and oddity.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, I mean, there is the show The Greatest Showman, which tells us that, you know, well, P.T. Barnum used to exaggerate this stuff, which I mean, Greatest Showman is actually not a very faithful story about the life of P.T. Barnum. P.T. Barnum was a horrible person, but anyways, so you have this great mixture of showmanship and oddity. So starting the story in there is great because, I mean, we'll get to it. I think 1947 he did much better going from the circus to the city
Yeah, I can agree with that.
because a lot of different reasons. We'll get to them, but yeah, it's like great because you get to see how the carnival works, the hierarchy of the carnival, and then you go to the city and realize, oh my God, it's just a big carnival, and everyone is putting on an act. Ezra Grindle is putting on an act. Ezra Miller is definitely putting on an act.
The woman, the psychiatrist, I can't remember her name. I think it was Lilith Ritter. Yeah, Dr. Lilith Ritter.
Yeah, Lilith Ritter.
She puts on an act.
Yeah, everyone is putting on an act. The weird thing is the only one who doesn't put on an act is Molly.
Yeah, she's very,
Sweet,
innocent and
yeah.
sweet.
And I mean Bruno, which we'll get to because the new one has it better. This has Ron Perlman, Hellboy, yes.
Yeah, I think we can take a little break.
Yeah.
And then we can come back.
Throughout the ages, man has sought to look behind the veil that hides him from tomorrow. And through the ages, certain men have looked into the polished crystal and seen. Is it some quality of the crystal itself? Or does the gazer merely use it to turn his gaze inward? Who knows? But visions come, slowly shifting their form. Visions come. Wait. The shifting shapes begin to clear. I see fields of grass and rolling hills and a boy. A boy is running barefoot through the hills. A dog is with him.
And we're back.
Yes. The 1947 version.
Yeah, we're gonna start with that.
First of all, it's a film noir. Like
Both of them.
both of them are. The new one is neo noir because film noir has a weird history. I'm not gonna get into it. But yeah, first of all, the biggest elephant in the room. Tyrone Pavlo, I don't think was a good actor. I mean, I understand nobody in the 40s acted good. Like, you had acceptable actors. You had Gary Cooper and the gay guy, Cary Grant and Montgomery Clift and Burt Lancaster and like people like that who were good enough actors, but no actor was that good in 1940s. And Tyrone Power, I've heard this is his best performance.
That is shocking. Tyrone Powers in this movie reminded me a lot of Cary Grant, especially in something like not Vertigo, but in general
Is
it
that in
reminded me.
Vertigo?
What? Who?
Cary Grant is not in Vertigo. That's
Who?
James Stewart.
That's James Stewart. Cary Grant is in the other one.
North by Northwest.
North by Northwest. Anyway, I always mix those two guys up. Anyway,
Yeah.
he reminded me a lot of those types of actors.
Yes. I mean,
With
he was...
with that exaggerated voice, Molly. You know what I'm talking about.
He was a leading man. I know that much. Like, he was one of those pretty guys who used to be at the forefront of the movie. Again, like Cary Grant, like James Stewart, like Gary Cooper. I mean, Gary Cooper wasn't pretty, but you know what I mean.
Was he? I don't know. I'm not into.
No, Tyrone Power was actually kind of handsome. I give him that. But the thing is that even though he's not very good, in my opinion, he still manages to be charming. Like, you kind of believe that he can. You believe he might be lying and you would believe him.
But the thing is, he's actually good in this movie. Like, I think. No, your eyes are telling me you're not gonna agree with me.
No. I will say
He's not the best actor in the movie, but he's decent.
definitely not the best actor. I mean, the Pete guy, Ian Keefe, he was the best actor in the movie to me. But I do agree with you. I think he's great when he's the Great Stan. What was his nickname? When they're doing the mentalism act, he's great. When he needs to be sincere and like appeal to Molly, he's not very good.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird enough because that's the exact opposite of Bradley Cooper in the Nightmare Alley of 2021.
Let's not get there.
Yeah, we'll get.
Yeah, I think in general, acting is again in general okay. There are some highs and lows. I found that actually watching this movie because I think both of us we watched this after the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew the story going in, so
we both watched it after the Guillermo Del
2021.
Toro movie. Yeah. I really don't like the character of Lilith Ritter. I think it doesn't make any sense. Like that movie, the 2021 version, I thought the problem was Kate Blanchett, which I'm gonna get to later. But when I watched this movie, I realized no, I feel like she's a bit too one-dimensional, and even in that, we don't know what she wants.
Well, to be honest, that's kind of a genre trope, like a style trope. It's a film noir, so we need a femme fatale.
I know. But there are good femme fatales. I don't think Lilith Ritter is a good femme fatale.
I kind of agree with you. I think the Del Toro version manages to be more interesting, but that's just because Stan Carlyle, is more interesting, so you kind of realize, oh, the dynamic is better developed. But yeah.
Yeah, anyway, what I love about this movie is actually the directing. Like, I think for a movie that was made in 1947, it is severely underrated how good the dude, I forgot his name.
Golding.
Yeah.
Edmund Golding.
Edmund Golding did. I don't know. I've definitely not seen any other movie of his.
Let me check out what other stuff he made.
Yeah. But he was really, really phenomenal.
Holy shit, he made so much.
Yep, he has made
These were silent movies, by the way.
He was a screenwriter on many of them, though. Yeah, I'm 99% sure I haven't seen anything. Still, it's...
I've seen... He's directed a few scenes from A Night at the Opera, the Marx Brothers movie. I've seen that one, I know. I should have looked it up before. Why didn't we look it up before?
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, anyways,
like there's a lot of fantastic camera movements in the circus.
Yeah.
Great mise-en-scène and all this stuff.
Yeah. And the thing is that for a lot of 1947 movies, I kind of realized, a lot of 1940 movies, you know, you have your big names. You got your Hitchcocks, you got your Capras, Frank Capra.
John Ford's,
yeah,
you know.
Which they have their own style, but you know, a lot of like run-of-the-mill movies, like Nightmare Alley. Nightmare Alley is not special in terms that it doesn't have a big name attached to it. It kind of faded away, sort of.
For a while.
Yeah. But like all of these run-of-the-mill movies sort of tend to not give actors enough time to work with them. And again, that scene of Pete giving a stand like, and then Zena would do this, and I would say this, and then that. That scene is so good because he realized, oh, I'm gonna give this guy enough breathing room. He needs to have the camera on him like for a full minute, which is not something a lot of 1947 movies did. Some of it is because they couldn't afford it to put the camera at the guy for like 1 minute, but
limitations make something. I forgot the term.
Yeah. Limitations is the mother of invention.
Yes, exactly.
But I mean, it's a great movie for the fact that it's a 1947 movie. It's a film noir movie. It is really well made. To be honest, I didn't think I was gonna like it. I was going, oh yeah, this is gonna be like The Thing, because the original Thing not very good, but it's charming and how crazy it is.
The Thing?
Yeah.
John Carpenter's The Thing?
No, the original Thing, the one that John Carpenter remade.
Oh.
The Thing from Another Planet.
Yeah, I know. I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's not very good. The things Carpenter's Thing is like magnificent. I love that
One of the
movie.
best horror movies ever
Yeah.
made.
But like I thought that it was gonna be one of those situations, like old movie, kind of charming, but after a while I was like, oh, I actually am getting it. I know the story. I know where it's gonna go, but I am invested in it.
It goes pound for pound with the new movie. Like,
oh yeah,
not like there are a bunch of hiccups, and there are some aspects that haven't aged well. In particular, some of the themes I can say around the circus.
Oh
know?
yeah.
But besides those, those limitations and whatnot, yeah, it's really worth a watch. Like, even after not 80, like 75 years, exactly 75 years.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I do agree. It is pretty good. And like you said, it goes pound to pound for the new movie. I agree. The thing is that I kind of wish I was seeing this first and then the new movie. Because the new movie adds a lot of context to stuff that I wouldn't know if I would have known if I hadn't seen it. I didn't know what a geek was. The 1947 movie doesn't tell you what a geek is.
No.
I sort of know it because, I've seen anyone. I kind of think it's because probably in 1947 geek was a more like acceptable.
Yeah.
Like people knew what it meant. Like fax machines for you future people who are listening to this. We know what it is. You don't know. But
MP3 players.
MP3 players, yeah. Like people probably knew what a geek was, so you didn't need to. But I kind of wish that I seen this first, because I think the new one sort of expands on a lot of it. It doesn't change, it just expands them.
Yeah. With that said, and I know you are also in agreement with me, I hate the ending for this movie. Like, so
yeah.
Sankarlai says, "Sir, I was made to do this," and then he suddenly realizes, no, he wasn't made to do this, and then he escapes, and then he sees Molly again, like after a while, like it's a year or two or whatever, and it's like, Molly, do you recognize me? It's your husband, Stan. And it's like, Molly's like, oh my God, Stan, I can't believe you turned out like that. It's so cheesy and bad. It's just,
well, I agree. I know what they were going for.
They're going for a happy ending.
Oh, of course they were going for a
happy ending.
But no, they were going for, like, they wanted to say, oh, this is going to be like Pete and Zena again. Like, Stan probably will become an alcoholic and Molly has to care for him or whatever. But they went the worst way possible to do that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because Pete says, if it wasn't for Zena, I would have been the geek.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's sort of like, yeah, Molly saves him, but they went for the stupidest way possible to do that, and I do hate it. I think the new movie did a great job of not including that, and it ends with, "Sir, I was born to do this."
Yeah,
and then that smile.
That's maybe my only gripe with this movie. There are, again, some small stuff, like I think Pete dying and then Xena finding out was really, it was more funny than, traumatic.
Yeah. There were a lot of melodramatic scenes, like how Bruno holds Stan and says, "You have to marry Molly, like literally right now."
Yeah, that is
and it's
stupid.
like, okay, I mean, this was the 40s, so I'm kind of easier on it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
There's also the tarot card thing, which in this movie, considering, in the modern society, tarot cards and fortune reading is a lot more prominent, and Del Toro uses it very well in the New Year movie. In the classic one, it's a bit not, you know.
It's not as prominent
Yeah.
as it should have been. But to be honest, you have to realize the old movie is how long is it? It's
75
not
years. Oh,
Um,
it's an hour and 50 minutes. I think.
yeah. The new movie is in
2 hours and 30 minutes.
yeah, like has 40 more minutes to sort of flesh
that
this
is
stuff out.
true.
They did stick to the important bits. Like again, you sort of see Stan becoming a manipulative asshole. You care for Molly. You see how Lilith sort of fucks him up, which is actually kind of gratifying. I have to give the movie that. It's kind of fun to see Stan fail because he's been kind of an asshole. You don't have a lot of sympathy for him. And you see the plan they have, you see the grift they're trying to pull, you see the downfall, and you see Stan losing everything. Like, these are the important stuff. They show them. It's just, it lacks a lot of the flavor stuff that Del Toro obviously adds. And again, as with Muhammad, I also recommend it. Do give it a watch. It's good. I kind of wish there were more of it in the Del Toro movie. Like it was a remake, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say. Like, even the movie is well remembered as far as I know.
Yeah. Like the thing is that again, as we said, I've heard a lot that this is Tyrone Power's best performance. I'm like, okay, I can see that. I don't think he's a good actor, but I see this being his best performance. I have the same feeling for Jimmy Stewart in It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
I say it's his best performance. And people say, what about the man who shot Liberty Valance? I said, no, that's not it. That's definitely not his best performance. I mean, he makes John Wayne look good. And John Wayne is, and this is a fact, a shitty actor. I don't care, you classic nerds. Yeah, John Wayne was not a good actor.
I wish I cared to.
Oh,
But
no.
I don't, so I
This
can't
is
even
this is
complain.
yeah. This is for us Western nerds who, I mean, Eastwood wasn't that great either, to be honest. Eastwood was better though.
Yeah, he definitely. Anyway, yeah, we both do recommend Nightmare Alley 1947.
Yeah.
Let's take a break and we'll be back.
Sweetie, salt and pepper, please.
How do you ever get a guy to geek?
Oh, I ain't gonna crap you up. It ain't easy. You gotta pick up a broken drunk, a real alky, a 2-bottle-a-day fool, see?
Pick him up from where?
Nightmare alleys, train tracks, flap houses, you name it. A lot of folks came back from the war, addicted to the poppy, to booze. Now, opium really sinks its claws, but you reel them in with booze. You tell them, I got a little job for you. It's a temporary job. Make sure you emphasize that. Just temporary until we get ourselves another gig. You spike it with that opium tincture. 1 drop per bottle. That's all. But now, this is what he thinks is heaven. So, you say to him like this, you say to him, well, I gotta get me a real geek. He says, ain't I doing okay? He says, like crap you're doing.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
He's eating Gojeh Sabz. I don't think we have Gojeh Sabz in England. It's
I'm
such
gonna look it up.
It's an exotic fruit that only grows in Iran. It doesn't. What the Renkle de Vert. Because it is French. Yeah, we don't have it. Hey, suck on my dick, you.
International community. We have gorgeous. It's actually kind of amazing.
I like chocolate with more.
Fuck off, you pretentious asshole.
Thank you.
Okay, the new movie. First of all, before we get that, because I know you haven't seen anything from Edmund Goulding, but I know you've seen stuff from Guillermo del Toro. What is your thoughts on the man? The legend.
He's
The Death Stranding.
He's sitting right in front of me.
Oh, fuck off.
Thank you. Guillermo Del Toro, I absolutely love. He's so fucking good, man. Like, the three amigos, Alfonso Cuarón, Alejandro González Iñárritu, and Guillermo Del Toro. I love all three of them equally. Some might say.
Fuck off.
Sometimes one more than the other, but still.
Del Toro is definitely better than both of them, I think.
No, come on.
I wouldn't let Pan's Labyrinth spit in the face of 21 grams.
Babel.
No, Babel, no.
Come on, that movie's one of the best movies ever made. I'm not gonna complain.
Okay.
I'm not gonna argue right now, because again, I do love all three of them equally. Yeah, Del Toro has a special place in my heart because I am a fan of fantasy stories. Not so much horror because Del Toro loves horror.
Del Toro loves universal horror.
Yeah, especially universal horror.
Not like horrors that affect the universe. Universal Studio movies horror.
Your Draculas, your Invisible
Creature
Mans.
from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell he loves the creature from the Black Lagoon?
Yeah.
Knowing he made 2 movies with a fish monster.
I actually haven't watched his first and second movie, I think. Which was that Spanish one? I can't remember the name. Dogs?
I'm bringing up his Wikipedia, which, as we know, his first movie.
Chronos.
I've seen Chronos. These are short movies. Yeah, his first movie is Chronos.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that.
I've seen Chronos. It's actually quite good. It's a vampire movie.
Shocking.
Yeah, who knew? And then he made Mimic, which... Have you seen it? I haven't seen it. I've heard a lot of good stuff.
No, again,
though.
I haven't seen his first 2 movies.
I've seen The Devil's Backbone.
I have to. It's not a good movie. As far as I
it's...
remember.
Who is in it? His friend.
Not Jared Butler.
No, not Judd.
Doug something.
No, not them. Fuck, I forgot. Anyways, then he made Blade 2.
Which is also not a good movie.
But
it's better than Blade 3.
Yeah.
Which is an absolute horse shit.
Yeah, who knew David S. Goyer is not a good director? Who knew?
Who knew?
Some might say he's not even a good writer.
That is up for contention.
And that is from people who've seen Batman v Superman.
But
then,
yeah, after that he's on a roll. He makes Hellboy, he makes Pan's Labyrinth, he makes
Hellboy 2.
Pacific Rim, Hellboy 2. He tried to make a Hobbit. That went horribly wrong. He tried to make a couple of video games too. And those also went horribly wrong.
I'm still waiting for BioShock.
He wasn't doing BioShock. He was doing something called Insane.
Wasn't he supposed to make BioShock?
No, that was Gore Verbinski. He was
What the
supposed
fuck,
to make
Gore?
a movie.
Where is BioShock?
Where is BioShock? Well, Netflix is making something.
Oh fuck, you got that reminds me of Fallout.
And yeah.
He made Crimson Pig.
The only place he kind of falls is Crimson Peak, I think. And
I like Crimson Pig.
I think it's good. I don't think it's... I think it has many, many flaws, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not alone in this. I think his best movie is Pan's Labyrinth. Of course.
I can't disagree with that.
Why?
No, I said I can't disagree
Oh,
with
I
that.
said I
the
kinda.
longest standing ovation in Cannes history at 16 minutes. That is absolutely insane.
And those fuckers are French. They don't applaud anything if it doesn't have Godard's name on it.
Yeah, that movie's absolutely
After
fantastic.
that, I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but I seriously don't understand why. Shape of Water. I love Shape of Water.
Yeah, I like it a lot too.
I even like it more than Hellboy, which I know it's like nerds suicide saying it. I like Shape of Water more than Hellboy. They're like, oh, you.
I don't care. I'm a nerd. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, with all of that said,
Nightmare Alley.
also loved Nightmare Alley.
I liked it a lot. To be honest, a lot of stuff I like about Del Toro are in this movie. The weird architecture is there that I love. The Art Deco style.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love that. I love that
That's,
he.
that visual sense of style that he has is so
Yeah.
prominent in this movie. That cinematography, that's
The brutalness, like the fact that, well, I mean, that movie was made in 1947. They literally couldn't show a lot of stuff. But
the moment the geek rips off the head of the chicken. Yeah, I know.
Or the ending.
Yep.
I mean, spoiler alert: the death of Ezra
Greenberg.
Grindel.
Grindel?
For
Yeah,
a
you
moment
were
I
going
said
for
Miller. Yeah, the death of Ezra Miller, which is like the name of a. It could be the name of a YouTube video essay, like the death of Ezra Miller.
Yeah, that is true.
Like the death of H2H3, which is a great video, by the way.
I think I've seen it.
But Gokon now, it was removed. There is a whole story behind that. I'm not going to get into it.
Anyway.
Yeah, but by the way, I've heard, just a little bit behind the scene, apparently Ron Perlman gave Del Toro a book of a book of Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, what a great choice. I
Yeah.
love Ron Perlman. What a
Ron
fantastic
Perlman is
dude.
great.
He has a lot of misfires, but what a fantastic guy.
I mean, he's been in a lot of shitty movies,
Yeah.
but some of the movies that I think shaped my visual identity, that stuff that I love, he's been a great part of them, like City of the Lost Children from the French guy, Jean-Jacques Jeunet, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Oh, fucking hell.
The Hellboy movies.
The Hellboy movies, yeah.
War never changes.
War
What you Fallout 4
Exactly.
for not using Ron Perlman when he's still alive.
Oh yeah, fuck them. Or for 76. I mean,
I haven't played it.
yeah, well, for that and like even Drive.
Yeah.
He was in Drive, and
He's-
he's like such a great guy. In this movie, I think he's very subdued. Like I think it's more because you gave me the book, can't be in this movie.
Yeah, his role is not very small, but pretty small.
I mean, to be honest, the 1947 Bruno, he plays Bruno, by the way, Perlman, had a more prominent role, I think. He forced Stan to marry Molly.
Yeah, I guess.
In the 2021, he's sort of like, I'm gonna hit you. And
He's more of a freak here than the 1947 one.
Yeah,
He's a bit more disfigured, you can say.
that's a very mean thing to say.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I mean, that would become,
describe the movie.
to be honest, that becomes more insulting when you realize he isn't even wearing any makeup. It's literally him in a suit.
I know.
The cast.
The
Let's.
before we
Oh, okay.
sorry, before we stop talking about Del Toro, I know we're gonna continue again.
Yeah.
But the thing that this movie has going for it is like, I think it's the first movie by Del Toro that has no supernatural or paranormal entities or events.
He actually advertised it as that. It's like, this is the first one.
Which is pretty hard. Because, fucking hell, every movie this guy has made has had something to do with that fantasy, like... storytelling.
Even his love story, he has a fish guy in it.
Yeah. And the fish guy has a dick that comes out of his stomach?
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, the thing is that I agree. I kind of think that is a detriment to the movie. That's a problem I have with the movie. It's a great movie, by the way. I just saying, just starting with this, go watch it. I just want to tell you that because I will rip a lot into it for a lot of minor details, but I don't want you to think that I don't like it because I love the movie. It's just that there are a lot of things that I think could have been amended. But anyways, first of all, the cast. The cast.
Phenomenal cast.
Yeah, it's a great cast. Like, okay, the big three. Bradley Cooper, Kate Blanchett, Rooney Mara. Rooney? Is it?
Yes.
Okay. I thought... Who's her sister? Kate. No, it's Rooney.
Yes.
Yeah. The big three. I don't know why Toni Collette is on the poster. She's a...
I do have a theory which I'm going to talk about later.
Okay. The thing is that the big three. Cooper... I'll get to Cooper. Kate Blanchett is doing great for me, to be honest. I know you don't like her performance.
Yeah, I think it's, again, the more I think about it, it's more the character than the performance. Because I love Kate Blanchett. I think she's my favorite Australian actress. Yes,
Fuck
even
you.
more than Nicole Kidman.
Fuck you.
I do not like Nicole Kidman.
Fuck off.
I might. I absolutely love her. She's pretty, she's hot, but those things aside, she's a phenomenal actress. But I didn't like her in this movie, and I think part of it, again, goes back to the fact that this character of Dr. Ritter is not as fleshed out as it needs to be, especially in this version, I think. And, you know, the motivations are unclear. I know these sound stupid, like, you might say, oh my god, you know, not every character should have a motivation. Yeah, I know.
I mean, she wants money. That's her only motivation. And she wants she wants to fuck. Not fuck as in have sex with. Fuck up Stan Carlisle at some point.
I guess. But why?
It's a power thing, I think. But at the end of it, the reason I like Kate Blanchett in this is that she's so hammy. Like, she's so over the top.
Yeah, she is.
And, like, okay, there's a scene at the end of the movie where Stan tries to strangle her with a phone cord and can't. And the police come and said, are you okay? And she's like rubbing her neck and says, I'll live. And that scene is so funny to me. And at the same time, it's so great because, again, it's like, I know what you're doing, Guillermo. There's this movie called Patton.
Yeah.
There's this amazing line in it. Rommel, you magnificent bastard, I read your book. And it's like literally that. It's like, Del Toro, you magnificent bastard, I read your book. I know what you're fucking doing. You're trying to, it's a film noir. It's supposed to be like, who's the...
Guillermo is... I'm calling him Guillermo because he's my, very close friend.
Yeah.
But Del Toro is really going hard on conventional noir tropes.
Yeah, I mean...
you have, I don't know, the fucking hero who gets drunk by the end of the movie.
You have a lot of that, but the thing I was going to say about Kate Blanchett, who's the actress in Double Indemnity?
I have no idea.
No, not Double Indemnity, Sunset Boulevard. You know, the Mr.
Again, I know who you're talking about. I have no idea.
I think it's Glorious Swans. I'm not sure. Okay, it's like that performance, that over the top, and it works so great for me because I'm so entranced in the movie's visual that I'm like, okay, this character fits in this movie. Then you have Rooney Mara, which she's good. It's her character is. Yeah, his character, I said.
Her.
I'm sorry. Her, I wasn't trying to misgender. English is my second language.
Yeah,
cut me some fucking slack.
Try to, make some excuses.
Her character is that it's so milquetoast. Like, she doesn't do
I think that's
much.
the point, though. Like,
she's
I know. The exact contrast of both Xena and Ritter.
Yeah.
And so, she's very innocent, she's very humble. And, that's a pretty great thing that Del Toro does here is the fact that she chose Rooney Mara, who has that kind of face. She's a bit baby-faced, and it really shows in this movie in particular.
Yeah.
Not her best performance. I think Carol, she's really good in that movie.
With Kate Blanchett.
Yes, with Kate Blanchett, as I was going to mention.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, then you have a lot of what I like to call failed potentials, yeah. Willem Dafoe is great, as Willem Dafoe is.
Always.
But, like, at the midpoint, his character just vanishes.
Yeah, I think, he was done. Like,
I know, but it's like, he was such a big deal of it. And
yeah, they made a big deal of him in the trailers too. Like, he was the narrator in the trailers. I don't think you saw them.
I didn't see the trailers, to be honest. But like, you're making a big deal out of him, and I know it's Willem Dafoe. You're supposed to make a big deal out of it, and he's doing great. Like that scene, he says, which he drops the name of the movie. Where do you get these guys? Nightmare Alleys. And he's so great, but it's like if you put that much emphasis on this guy, when he's gone, we're gonna notice it.
Yeah, which again goes back to one of the problems of the movie, which I'm gonna.
Yeah, we'll get to the
we'll get to that.
weird cut between the two parts. Then you have Richard Jenkins, which was great.
Yeah, he's good.
I mean, I like the man a lot. I loved him in The Shape of Water. I
Yeah.
think he did great in The Shape of Water. He won an Oscar for it, didn't
No,
he?
he didn't.
He was nominated for an
Yeah, I
Oscar.
think he was nominated.
Yeah, that was a great performance. And here he's so disgustingly disgustingly aristocratic. There's no other way to say it. It's Jeff Bezos, basically. And he does it great.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, and you have Perlman, which we talked about. You have my sweetheart,
Who?
David
David
Strahan. I love David Strahan. I shit you not. I went and watched like every movie he was in, and through him, I actually saw The Color of Money before I knew it was a Scorsese movie.
Oh,
Yeah, and he's great in this movie.
yeah, he's
like-
really good.
Did
He's Fred. What was his name?
Pete?
Pete. Sorry.
Yeah,
Right.
Pete Crumby, and like, it's so great.
Yeah, he also has quite the good kind of chemistry with Toni Collette.
Yeah, you realize these were an item,
Yeah.
and like he has this old gentleman-y vibe. Like he says French words, like
Which I know you love.
yeah, I loved when he says French words. Then there is actually the second time we're gonna see him in this show, Holt McClany. He was the bad
He
guy.
was
In,
very, very briefly in the movie, though. Like,
he has the best death.
oh, right.
Then you have okay. You want to talk about brief? How about fucking Timberlake Nelson?
Where was he?
He was the last carnival boss. He says,
Oh,
"Do you want to
right,
be
yeah,
a gig?"
Yeah.
And it's like you have Tim
No,
Blake.
you know how those things are? It's like, probably Tim Blake Nelson was on a set of a movie, and Del Toro
Yeah.
was like, dude, you come in here. Like, okay, I'm coming. Like, one day.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
dude.
probably, but it's like it's so weird.
No, it's not, power of the director power of the name of the director thing that Wes Anderson also has. Like, you invite
Oh yeah,
fucking Bill Murray and Timothée Chalamet and all those actors, and
I mean,
like they're all in one scene probably.
French Dispatch has Edward Norton.
Edward Norton.
Like the
and
worst part
even
of that.
Nolan is doing that too
Yeah, Nolan is
with
doing that.
Oppenheimer. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about Nolan right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
but and also the greatest role in the movie, Romina Power, the daughter of Tyrone Power, is in this movie.
yes. For
I don't
like
even
1
know what
second.
I don't even know what role she
I think
plays.
she was one of the attendees in the movie.
It says it's a viewer
Yeah.
of Stanton's show. I don't even know what she looked like.
I mean, why should you? She's probably like 70 or 80 by now.
I don't think so.
Why not?
Oh my god, that photo is
Yeah, that photo is not from recent.
it's from 1969. She's 70, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Holy
You wouldn't
shit.
recognize her anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah,
there you go. Call back to the original movie.
yeah, call back to the original.
But yeah, you passed someone in particular.
Tony Collette.
No.
Cool. Oh yeah, the main guy, Bradley Cooper. Okay, there's this movie called Star Is Born, which Bradley Cooper directed. In that movie, Bradley Cooper has a particular choice in how he speaks. He kind of speaks like this all through the movie.
A bit more country though.
He talks like
Kinda
this.
speaks like
He
this.
can't speak like this, and he talks like that and says, Lady Gaga, you're gonna be my girlfriend." And it's
I'm on the deep end.
Yeah. And I defended his choice in that movie. I'm like, okay, I know what you're going for. It works. Good for you. I can't defend how he talks in this movie. Like, what the fuck is
I
wrong with
absolutely
you?
disagree with you.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you talk like that? It's like, ha, it's so, I was born to die. Like, oh, that was Christopher Walken.
So, I was born to do it. No, I have to disagree with you. I think Bradley Cooper was really good.
I agree. He was good when he was talking like with Rooney Mara, like when he was talking with Molly, when he was showing, even though it was fake emotions, when he was the center of attention, when he was the great Stan Carlisle, he wasn't very good. Okay, let me say it this way. The best performance for this movie would have been, you have Bradley Cooper do the emotional scenes and the last scene, and then you have Tyrone Power do the showmanship, because of the way they wrote the character, and Bradley Cooper tried so hard to embody that character, he cannot be a great showman. Like, he's so slimy for a showman. Like, it's so obvious that he's lying.
Maybe to be honest with you, I did not see those points in his performance.
Oh, okay.
I think first of all, he was really charming, and to the credit of his acting too. Like, there's that scene where he kind of, convinces the police officer that your mother is something and something like that. I can't remember the exact dialect, just accept it from me.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that scene because I think that's one of his best performances in the movie. And then, there's all those talks with Rooney Mara and Kate Blanchett. I think those scenes with Kate Blanchett are really good. Again,
Yeah.
he's a really good noir anti-hero protagonist.
Yeah.
I get what you mean when he's trying to scam people, basically. But I think
Who's
it
fooled
might
by that?
be somewhat intentional. Like, he isn't putting on a showmanship, I guess. He's more. How do I say?
I understand what you mean. Like, because I said Del Toro, Cronenberg does it with M. Butterfly. Like, I don't know if you know the story of M. Butterfly. There is this Chinese spy who dresses himself up as a woman and seduces this French guy, who's Jeremy Irons. And like, Cronenberg chose a very masculine Asian actor, and it's like, it's obvious it's a guy. How are you such an idiot, Jeremy Irons? And then you realize, that's the point. He knows it's a guy.
And he still goes for it.
Yeah, he let himself be fooled by it.
Yeah.
The problem is, Rooney Mara continuously tells Bradley Cooper that, you're doing this thing where you are lying to people, and they don't know that you're lying. And I'm like, but how the fuck do they not know he's lying?
I mean, people are still coming for his show.
Yeah, I mean, how do you people not understand that it's like, I understand if it was intentional, but if it was intentional, people shouldn't be fooled by it,
Yeah, I guess so.
Again, he's a great actor. Like, I like Cooper, and I defended his choice in Star is Born to talk like with fucking out of his breath, but
Let's agree to disagree, I guess, on that.
no, I know. I don't think he's bad. Like, I don't think. I
think he could have been better.
I think he was too much in the character, to be honest. Cooper is a very charismatic guy. Like, he can be a great showman. We've seen him be a great showman before. But, when he's the great Stan, he needs to be like Hugh Jackman in The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, I think he's leaning more towards the, the more believable part of his performance rather than the showmanship. Again, let's agree to
We've seen showmans, though. You mentioned Three Amigos. There is a great showman in that movie. Steve Martin.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the only thing that would have made this movie better is Jeremy Irons, but that's like a rule for like every movie we talked about on this show.
Rule number 1: make your movie better by adding Jeremy Irons.
Yes.
Jeremy John Irons.
Jeremy John Irons. Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't still seen Munich. I should see Munich.
We can do an episode on it if you want. If you want me to push you into watching Munich.
The problem is I don't know what movie to put it up against. But anyways, we get there.
Anyway, yeah. Okay.
Well, okay, these are the cast, the performances, but the characters themselves are, again, great. Like Willem Dafoe's Clem Hotley is amazing.
Somewhat brief, but yeah, very good.
Yeah. Okay, should we talk about the problem?
Yes.
The
You
movie-
want me to say it because this is the only problem I have.
Oh,
Not a
it's
big
the
problem.
biggest problem I have. Like, it's the problem that makes this movie, like, it's the only problem that sort of threw me out of the movie, and I'm like, okay, wait, that's bad. Fuck
Yeah.
you. And it's the fact that between the carnival scene and the city
Specifically
scene,
the first act and the second act. When it goes to the second act.
yeah, when it goes to the city basically, because it's literally you go from one place to another. There's a cut. It says 2 years later, I think, or 3 years later. Yeah, sometimes later, and the movie just changes, and the change is so abrupt. Like it almost feels like two different movies were shoved next to each other.
Yeah. In that regard, the old movie was a lot better and more homogeneous.
Yeah,
I
the
feel-
carnival scenes were great. They were
I absolutely love it. Like when the movie started and you're going through the carnival and they're talking to Xena and Pete and all that stuff and they learn the tricks and the tarot.
Yeah,
cards,
Clem.
and you're like, okay, this is absolutely amazing. Why are the scores so low? And it goes on and on and on until you get
it
to that
cuts,
point.
and 3 years later in the city, and it's a whole other movie. Like there is all of this Art Deco stuff out of nowhere. I love Art Deco, but it's like
It's out of place.
yeah, it feels like you've been yanked out of the movie and then shoved back into another movie. And honestly, that's the biggest problem I have with this movie. It's such a weird shift that I'm like, okay, Del Toro, I love you, but fuck off.
I do agree with that. I think, there's this thing on the roads, bumpers, right?
Yeah.
This movie has a really big bumper, and the car doesn't get back on the road for quite a while. Like it gets so much airtime, and you're like,
Yeah.
what is happening here? And if I'm honest with you, I don't know why. Like when I think about it, is it maybe the direction? Is it the story itself? Because it's probably not the story.
Yeah, because in 1947, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, we went from the carnival to the city, and the movie went as usual. Part of it, I'm with you, it's like, what is the problem? I think you can bring it down to visual style. Del Toro has a very distinct visual style,
Yeah.
like, you know that. And it's like, okay, when that visual style isn't there in the carnival, you notice it. And when it's there in the city, you notice it more. And like, oh, okay, there are no tall buildings in the carnival. There were no, like, weird Art Deco stuff. There were no gadgets in the carnival. There were gadgets, like, hidden in the wall.
Yeah. The voice recorder.
Yeah, the voice recorder. Which is what we're using. I mean, can you imagine this little thing used to be that big?
Oh my god, technology has advanced so fast.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And, like, you have all of that. And then there is this shift in both music, in direction, in color even.
Yeah.
And it's like, what happened?
I don't know. I think, again, that in a circus, he was more an element. Like, the whole freak thing, the whole fantasy, on the verge of becoming that supernatural thing. Like, there's this reference shot that is used throughout the whole carnival sequences of the baby that killed her mother.
Yeah.
Killed his mother? I don't know. I can't remember the gender exactly. Sorry. Anyways, and we know who that is. That is Stan, who also has a very turbulent relationship with his parents.
With his father,
In particular. And, I think that when they move out of the carnival into the city, his hands are more tied, and
Yeah.
he can't do what he wants exactly.
Which is why the best scene after the carnival is the ending. When
Yes.
there is a supernatural quote unquote element.
Yeah, again, it kind of gets back on track as
Yeah.
more it goes. You know, you have the ghost stuff. You know, pretend to be a ghost. And
Yeah.
it kind of gets better from that part on. But yeah, there's this really weird thing that you have to just, pass through to get to the good parts.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you're right. When he's in the carnival, it's another Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes, yeah.
It's another, literally full of monsters, but this time the monsters are man-made. They're not real.
Who's the real monster?
Who's the real monster? But yeah, and with that said though, I said in the 1947, we talked about the story. In the 2021, they sort of expand on a lot of it.
Yeah.
They expand on the tarot thing, which is very important. They expand on the relationship between Pete and Xena, like
And, the tarot thing is used very well. Like, I hate movies, foreshadowing for later. I hate movies when they bring on an element and they don't use it quite as well, or they overuse it. But like the tarot is very well done.
Yeah, it's in a couple of scenes. It's done very well. And then you have, talk about foreshadowing. This movie is like 60% foreshadowing for like the last minute of it.
That's the thing with, you said why, for example, they have Toni Collette and Kate Blanchett.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, again, first of all, it's a play on the trope of the blonde woman of classic Hitchcock and noir movies that,
Oh, yeah, blonde woman. Yeah.
And
Fucking
the
hell,
fact
how could I
that
forget?
they kind of look like each other. And considering Stan, scams Xena, and then, Dr. Ritter scams Stan, it's kind of goes full cycle.
Yeah.
I think, there's a lot of thematic things going on.
To be
there.
honest, though, the only thing that I think went through their head, not the only thing, like the main thing is, it looks better if three girls are there and one guy at the top.
I guess so.
The poster is great, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of reminds you of, I am a poor boy, no one.
There's this great I'm going to show you it later. Yeah.
Oh my god, to be honest, before, a little bit behind the scenes, before we started recording, yesterday, we were talking about when we should record and what we should talk about. And I sent Muhammad a video I haven't seen before called Merlin Reacts to Fine Bros. And ever since, it's a very old video. It's about that time Fine Bros tried to...
Copyright React videos.
Yeah, like try to trademark the word React. And it's like... and this video is great.
But the other one was really good.
Yeah, fuck you.
What's your name?
Tony.
Oh, fuck you, Tony.
Yeah, we watched a lot of old YouTube videos.
Okay.
But it kind of reminds me because I will use it a lot more in the next video, next episode, when regarding to one particular person, where we're going to say the amazing someone who...
Someone.
Okay, we get there. It's a teaser. Listen to our next episode and listen to me say the full line about that one person.
Yeah.
Anyways, going to the themes of the movie, one of the things that this one had that 1947 really didn't have is that Stan in this is much more of a developed character, I think.
And much more of an asshole.
Oh yeah, he's like, in the original, he is asshole-ish, but he never crosses the line. Like, he doesn't hit Molly, right?
So.
And the biggest thing is, they don't do the ghost thing in 1947.
They do. He sees them. Yeah, they do. Come on, dude.
Doesn't she run away before they do the ghost thing?
No.
Are you sure?
So the dude still finds... The dude at first is like, oh my god, forgive me, Mary, or whatever her name was. But then he's like, oh my god, that's not Mary. And then, he beats him up. He doesn't kill him there. But he still beats him up.
Yeah. Why did I think she went away before that?
No.
Okay, sorry. I was going to say that because this one actually forces her to do stuff that... Oh, I remember why. In that one, she doesn't threaten to leave.
Yeah.
In this one, she actually leaves and he goes after her.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen these two movies.
It's like
we should have recorded it back then. But yeah, like he's much more of an asshole here, and he's much more believable as an asshole. Again, Tyrone Power is not very good at the interpersonal stuff. He's great as the showman, but Cooper is great at the interpersonal stuff. Like,
Convincing Richard Jenkins that he can summon a
yeah,
former abused lover.
and yeah, let's go to Ezra Grindel. I mean, I don't want to talk about the politics of the movie because the movie is actually quite political, I think. At least, if not more than the Last Duel.
I mean, oh, okay.
Because Last Duel, one of the problems people have with it is it's too political. It's about believing all women. We shouldn't do. I mean, fuck off.
Fuck off.
I will get to that in the next episode again. There is a whole lot of people that we're gonna fucking make fun of. But I don't want to talk about the politics of the movie because the movie actually does have a lot of political points to it. I think.
Our times are like this, you know.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is that Ezra Grindel is such a monster, and Richard Jenkins plays him so great. This is the thing I think Del Toro. Again, this might be tied to the politics of the movie, but I don't care. I'm gonna say it. I think Del Toro decided to make monsters, but makes them human.
Again, who's the real monster?
Who's the real monster? But I think it was actually like, oh, I showed you the monsters in Nazism in Pan's Labyrinth. You didn't listen to that.
So I'm doing it again.
I'm doing it again. This time it's an actual human being. Let's see you don't get this one. The rich. It's the rich.
Yeah. God. If I do think that okay, there are political points to it, but Stan in and of itself, his story is more personal than social. Like, you know.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Stan himself, not the story of the movie. I'm sorry, I'm not talking about the journey of the character. I'm talking about like the plot.
I thought you were talking about that.
Like
No,
how Ezra Grindel is shown, how Holt McKelney.
Yeah, like he has a billion bodyguards, and you know you can
Yeah.
talk to him. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like how it shows the interpersonal relationships of the elites, basically. Like this guy wants to swindle and become one of the elites,
God,
and what?
That scene was so fucking funny. You know, the one where the wife takes out the gun.
Oh
like,
yeah.
You know how Stan said we're gonna meet our son soon? Yes. Pah. You're dead.
Okay.
Don't marry psychopaths.
That scene is also part of my problem with the movie.
Why is that?
It comes out of nowhere.
It's so funny though.
It's great.
Again, it goes back to the part of humans being monsters. I think. Like
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you planted the idea of.
Oh my god!
These two
Accepted
people-
the idea.
Yeah, exactly. You planted the idea of these two parents who are mourning their children for so long, their only child, I think.
Yeah.
And you know, it's again about the abuse of your power, which
it's
Pete
basically
constantly warns Stan
Yeah.
of.
Again, as I said, this movie is like 80% foreshadowing. It's like Pete saying, "This power, you will become God," and it's like the towels. Oh my God, something bad is gonna happen.
Oh my God, the inverted hangman! You're gonna get fucked, dude.
Yeah, and it's like you have a problem with father figures.
How did you know?
Again, literally, the foreshadowing. Clement tells them, "This is how we get the geek. You do this," and the moment the force said that, like,
You knew what was gonna
yeah,
happen.
I was like, okay, it's so specific that either Stan is gonna become a geek or Stan is gonna find someone to become a geek. It's
Yeah.
like, it's so specific. Like it's a problem with Del Toro as a general. Like I love him, but it's so obvious sometimes.
Yeah, I get that.
Like
I do get that.
again, Shape of Water. I love Shape of Water. I might even I go back to Shape of Water a lot more than I do to Pan's Labyrinth.
I mean, it is an easier watch by a mile.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like the dream sequence is great, but it's like it's so obvious what you're doing, dude. Not in the sense of the story, in sense of the meta story. You're like, oh yeah, we put the creature from the Black Lagoon as Fred Astaire. I mean, I know, yeah, you did. You did. He was the monster. He was the cool man. You changed them up. I get that, dude. But yeah. Anyways, watch the movie.
Yeah.
You were born for it.
God, I love that final scene. So
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the final scene.
Yeah.
It goes to watch to see Tim Blake Nelson. Tim Blake Nelson, yeah.
yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Tim Blake Nelson was that guy in the second Hulk movie.
Out of
most
all
promi-
the movies in
Yes.
his career, he was that guy in the second Hulk movie.
But
By the way, R.I.P. William Hurt.
yeah, William Hurt.
That's a sad one.
Yeah, we don't have any Hurts now.
Yeah.
We lost John a few years ago. We lost William.
Anyway.
Anyways, Tim Blake Nelson. Well, he was Buster Scruggs. I think it's one of his more recent roles. To be honest, Tim Blake Nelson has always been in movies, and he was in O Brother Vrata. Yeah, he was the
Yeah,
guy
he
in O
was
Brother
in O Brother.
Vrata. Okay. So he goes to see him, and it's like, I have a mentalism act, and Tim Blake Nelson is like, we don't need it. Oh, what's that? I bought it from this carnival that closed shop. And he said,
It's the old.
yeah, the
old
Cletus.
sign from
Wasn't his name Cletus?
I think so.
Anyways, you go there, and by the way, by that point, you see that Stan actually has killed his father.
Stan has killed his father. Stan has turned into a drunk alcoholic. Yeah.
And like by that point, because you've been seeing like in lieu of Once Upon a Time in the West, where you keep seeing Henry Fonda come to the camera. It's like in lieu of that, you keep seeing these weird flashes of Stan's past life, and by that point you realize, oh, he killed his father, and he killed Pete accidentally.
I mean, technically, he let his father freeze to death by taking off his blanket. I don't know if that counts as killing.
I mean, it depends. It's what the first definition of is. Was that Bill Clinton who said that? I don't remember.
Yeah.
So it's like, at that point, you've just seen Stan being this low-life person. And he goes to Tim Blake Nelson. Tim Blake Nelson says, oh yeah, I found this, I bought this guy. And he says, name it some Cletus, I think. I said, what? That's a good name. I'm going to name him that. And it's like, I have a mentalism act. Tim Blake Nelson says, I don't need a mentalism act. It's so old. Like, we need something new. We need something sensational. And then
he pours the heroin. What is it? Heroin?
No, you start with the drink. You start with the drink, then you move to opium. I says, have you heard about this thing called gig? Until we find the permanent one, of course, you're gonna be just a temporary one. And Stan kind of remembering what
Bradley Cooper with his fucking eyes and his absolute phenomenal grin on his face.
And the teeth. I don't know how they must have probably did something with the teeth.
Probably processing.
Yeah, and it's like the teeth is like, sir, I was born for.
And that's one of the main differences of this story with the old one is like, and by the way, I love these kind of stories. I think we talked about it a bit back in The Green Knight. He's fated to be here, and that every choice that he made, all of them wrong, all of them, even though he was warned, he still ends up here.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he could have absolutely prevented by not doing it.
Yeah. He was rich, he was famous, he didn't need this.
And yet he
Yeah.
greed. Who's the real monster now?
But the great thing is, yeah, you're right. In the old one, it says, sir, I was made for it. It was like, yeah, I was shaped into this person. But here it's like, I was born for it. I didn't have any other choice.
It's like you're a bad seed.
Yeah. Which is why you should definitely watch both Nightmare Alleys, I think.
Yeah, they're both great movies.
Yeah, and
we have talked extensively about them.
Oh, how long?
An hour and 70 minutes up until now.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Holy shit. It felt so much...
More so the 2021 than the...
Oh yeah, because that's the problem with the old one. As great as it is, and it is great, it's an old movie.
Yeah, I know.
Like, the many of the problems that movie is trying to show I'm pretty sure the 1947 one is highly political as well. It's just that we don't get the politics.
Yeah, it's not from our time.
Yeah, because the 40s for me is always like, oh, World War II. Did something else happen? Yeah, a lot of other stuff happened, but for me, World War II, always World War II.
That's a big one.
And right now it's like,
maybe World War III.
maybe watch World War III on pay TV. Television has it. But definitely watch it. I mean, 2021, honestly, a better year for movies than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, very good year.
I mean, you had Green Knight, which we talked about. Go watch it. You had French Dispatch, which this fucker doesn't like.
I haven't even watched it.
Oh, fuck off then. And you have Nightmare Alley. You have, I haven't seen it, you have Licorice Pizza.
Oh god, that movie.
You didn't like it?
I loved it.
Oh,
It's my
okay.
favorite movie of last year.
I mean, yeah. I think it's great that we've talked about so many 2021 movies, but how about we talk about something from 2022 in our next episode?
I don't want to.
We have to.
I hate it.
I didn't hate it. Fuck off. It's better than the... Okay, we'll get to that. Don't forget to watch our next episode. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all of that good stuff. If you are not listening to this on YouTube and you're listening to this on a podcast platform, go to our YouTube and then subscribe, like, comment, and all of that stuff. But on a more serious note, you can find us on almost all of the podcast platforms. Almost all. I don't know. Muhammad does this stuff.
Tell us how wrong we are. Like, every video has had a dislike, so you can be the one that dislikes this video too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And with that said, we will see you next week.
Yeah, definitely.
Next week.